Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we will discuss on a very important topic asked in any kind of Java interview for the experienced folks. So our topic is how to create an immutable class in Java. So let's move on to this topic. So let's say for our example, we are taking employee class. So let's say we are having employee class with two or three attributes. So we have ID of this employee, we have name of this employee, and we have let's say we have one more external class. Let's say it's net worth. That is net worth. So we can create one more class, net worth class. So let's say we have few attribute in net worth class as well. So one attribute should be int, let's say FT. What is the amount of FT he has? One more attribute can be, let's say it's int cold, and one more maybe int mutual fund. Okay. Now let's create the getters and setters. So let's we can take for all these attributes. We can create the getters. Let's do it. Similarly, we can have setters as well, or is it? Okay, we are done with this. Now go back to the immutable employee. Now for if you want to make it immutable, the first thing is like we have to make this class final. So let's do it. It's done. Now one more thing you need to do, like all the attributes you have, right? So all those attributes you have to make it final as well. So we will we have to make all the attributes final. So let's do it. Final net worth as well. Then we need to make the all else constructor. Let's generate this. Yes. And we have to make sure we can have the getter for this immutable class, but we don't want to create any setter. Otherwise, after we create an object, we can modify it. So we cannot have any setter method for this class. So let's create the getters only. Let's select all three. Yes, now it's done. Now what we can do, so let's say, let's test whether it is fully immutable or not. Okay. So let's first create a network object. Specify all the arguments. Let's say name. Let's use Tom. Okay. Once this, we have to go to network. Okay. So let's set. Let's create a default constructor. I mean, this instantiate with the default constructor, and we will set in the network object. So let's go back to this. We have the setters for network class. So let's say safety. Let's keep it 10,000. Set gold. Let's say 3 lakh. And mutual fund also we have to give. Let's say this is 10 lakhs. Okay. Let's say 20. Now we can create the immutable employee object. Let's create it. We have the all argument constructor. Let's use it. Let's keep the name from, and we have to pass the network object. So okay. Now let's try to do one thing. Let's print it. Let's print the network. So before modification, the network top with respect to is FD only. What is this? So you have this employee get what, then you have to print this get FD. Now let's do one thing. We have a setter method for this network class, right? If you go back to this network, we have this set FD. Now let's try to set that particular object only in for that FD. So what set FD? Previously it was 10,000. Let's say it's 15,000. No, let's copy this. This is after modification. Now, if it is actually a immutable class, then what should it happen like? So if you set it as 15,000 as FD, but as this whole immutable employee is the immutable class, so that means we cannot modify that object after creating that instance, right? But whether it is happening or not, let's run it. So you can see here the FD amount has been modified. But if it was a immutable class, then it should have not happened. So where did we go wrong? So the thing is, we have this constructor, right? So we have to update this constructor in this immutable employee class. So basically, what we need to do, this network, we have to create one more network object, and then we have to like set that particular uh, instance. Okay. So in that way, we will create a different network object. So what needs to be done? So let's see. So create one more network object. So let's say it's worth new network. You have to set it with new set FD. We have this worth object get FD. So we have to do it for all the other attributes as well of this network class. Set gold as well. Get gold mutual fund as well. Right. Now what needs to be done? We need to assign what equals to what is this? The new object of that network is assigned. Okay. So we should have delete this line. So now it's fine, right? Now let's try to taste it once more. Okay. So now you can see we are doing the same thing. Here we want to set the FD again after creating that particular employee object for that immutable employee. But now after modification, the FD amount remains same only. Now, is it now foolproof immutable class? Okay, let's try to break it once more. Okay. So let's say we have this get age as well, right? This get network. So here also we have to modify it. Otherwise, the same thing happen. Okay, we can create this immutable employee class instance, but still we have the authority to like modify that network object. So what needs to be done here? Let's say we have come here. Same thing we will do. Let's say we are creating a different instance of that network object. Let's say it's specify auth RAM. So here's a FTE, let's say this is 20,000, this is 5 lakhs, this is probably 30 lakhs. Okay. Now, again, we'll create one more immutable employee object. Then so it's RAM, specify this name, this is auth RAM. Okay. Now, let's comment this out for the time. So now this is what the so we have already created this object with 20,000. But let's say we are just trying to update it, but not with this one. Let's do it. How so? Can you give a thought? How can we try to break it? Just give a thought. Okay. Now let's see how to do that. So we have the same param. We can have this get worth. Then we can do this set FD. Now let's say we are doing it. I mean, we are modifying the FD amount as 25,000. Whereas at the time of creation, the FD amount for this param object was this one, 20,000, right? Now let's see. So if it was immutable class, it should not allow to modify this FD amount. Let's run it. So we can see this is same only. So yeah, we actually was printing some different object. You can see we should have printed imp ram. Here also we should have use the imp ram only. Now let's see. Now you can see imp ram when we created with that fourth RAM object of that network. The FD was 20,000, and then we were again able to modify that particular instance with this 25,000. So this is still not a foolproof immutable class. So what did we miss? So we have to modify this get worth method. Okay. So let's what needs to be done here. So again, you have to create one more instance of that net worth class, and then we have to set all the attributes from this from the available net worth in this particular object. So let's see how what exactly needs to be done. So again, create a net worth object, new net worth. Now set all the attributes. Worth new, set FD this dot worth dot get FD. Similarly, we have to set the other two attributes as well. Worth new, set gold this, then get gold. This worth and then you have to return that new object, which is worth new. Okay. Now let's try to run that same program again, where we are modifying the FD amount to 25,000. Let's try to do it. It will not allow to modify. Yeah, as you can see, this is now 20,000 only. So whenever, so the thing is, these are primitive data type, right? In stream. So in this primitive data type, we will not be having any problem. But if we have this kind of mutable class as a reference to a different class, so in that case, we will have to protect our this constructor and also the getter method as well. Otherwise, it will not be a foolproof immutable class. And what is the reason of this? Can you just guess why only for this? I mean, the different reference of different class only we are having this kind of trouble, not with the primitive types. So for that, you have to like let's go to here. Okay. you have to understand how actually this method calls happens. So if it is a primitive data type, okay, so let's say it is stack, okay, this is stack. So for data type, for primitive data type, let's say we have x equals to 2, and let's say in y equals to 3. So when we call any kind of method with this two different variables, so what it does is in stack, they actually create a copy of these two variables, and then it gets passed to, let's say, some function one, int x, int y. Whatever happens, even if we increment this x and y, it doesn't matter because we are not passing this actual variables into these functions. It is always a copy of this x and y. Okay, this is the stack. Now for an object, where does object reside? You all know object reside in the heap. So this is heap. This is your heap, and you still need stack. So let's say you are creating you have one employee class, okay? We want to instantiate with a new employee, okay? Let's say we are creating an imp object. Now this imp object actually resides in this heap memory only, and it is again stack. But you have the reference of that object in the stack as well. So let's say we have this reference, and this actually points to this heap memory where the object exactly resides. So for the similar thing, let's say for the same function, if we pass a different objects, so what it does is it creates a copy of this one, what actually resides in stack. So it's a copy, okay? But the thing is, it is referring to a particular address where this employee object is stored. If we copy this particular reference, it still points to the same actually reference to that employee object, okay? So that's why if you modify anything here and here, so it's always in sync, and that actually modify this object only. So in this case, let's say we would have passed employee object, and if we modify the employee object, like let's say for employee it has age, if we would have modified the age, it actually we actually modify the initial employee object only. So that particular change will always persist. So that is the thing. So for immutable, to make it immutable, you need to be wary of this particular thing. So, and one more thing, like where do you need this immutable class? Any idea? So it's just information. So let's say we are using hash map, right? So in hash map, we have key and value, and how the hash map actually works is like it has to find that key with that equals method. So every time this hash map has to like find a particular key, it will use that equals and hash code method, and it needs to find the same bucket where that particular element resides, and then it will fetch for the value. So for that, let's say let's say we have added with a particular key in that hash map, and then somehow that particular key gets changed. Okay, now what happens? Even if you try to like find that particular key, but that key has already changed, so you will not get that required value because you will be trying to fetch in a different bucket in the hash map. So whenever you are actually uh, I mean if specifying the hash map, you have to be very careful with your hash map key, because with that key only and with the use of equals and hash code method, it actually internally works perfectly. Now if you put that element in the hash map and then you just change the key, then it will be a problem. So whenever you are trying to specify any key, if it is primitive data, absolutely no issue, because primitive data, I mean, you cannot change it, okay, afterwards. Even if you change, then it will create a new entry in the hash map. But if it is, let's say, you have some employee cluster, okay, now there is some use case, you want to use that employee only as a key of the hash map, then you have to make that employee immutable. Otherwise, your hash map will not work as expected. So there, whenever you need to specify any key, you have to choose that as an immutable object. Otherwise, hash map internally it will not work as expected. So I hope you got the idea how we actually made this class immutable, and also what is the usefulness of this immutable class. So yeah, if you have liked it, please give a like to this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.